How much did you put on once you got on the juice?
I competed in bodybuilding at like 170. I got on stage at like 198 men's physique. I got conned into Tren, and that was just like insano, and that just blew me up so fast. Are we allowed to talk about this on the podcast, bro? I'm just going crazy right now.
Yeah, man, it's an open format for sure. Whatever you're open to talk about, but when you were on the gear and then you got off of it, I'm assuming you got off of it once you started running, right?
Shortly after that show, dude, that was like the end of it for me. And it sucked a while because you have this image of yourself, you've seen yourself very lean on stage, like deep abs, and then you're natty and like your belly's not ripped. There was a whole mental thing that I had to go through afterwards.
You started running, gave up the competitive bodybuilding, and then decided to build a company around running.
Oh, you're running, you're out of breath, you can't inhale. I couldn't exhale. That's how out of shape I was.
We are live. Dan, how are you, brother?
Doing good, Rob. Thank you.
Hey, I'm excited to chat with you, man. I always like talking to other entrepreneurs because there's all kinds of things that go on behind the scenes in the entrepreneurial hustle that oftentimes don't get talked about. So I'm excited to peel the curtain back.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully I got some answers for you. If not, maybe a story of failure that'll help your listeners learn.
Hey, it's always learning experience, man. We're always learning. But you got I want to hear about the backstory with the running first. So you're a runner, but before we started recording, you talked that you've been doing like physique shows in the past as well. Which did you do first? Were you into running first, or were you into the lifting and the competition scene first?
No, lifting first. Running came later on in my adult life, and it's kind of a funny story. So started off lifting. I had my first gym pass. I mean, I was a senior in high school, so my buddy was driving me in his mom's car, and we would go to the gym and we would bro out. And by bro out, I mean like chest day, arm day, leg day. I am not speaking derogatory. This is my heart. So no offense to all the bros out there. But yeah, that's how we started. Went to the gym. I was fortunate enough to train with some pretty good power lifters. I was able to train with some strong men. So I trained with Derek Poundstone for a while. He was America's strongest man. Came in second at World's Strongest Man. And that was really, really fun. That was a great opportunity. I was always the smallest guy. They had a joke, the guys at my gym. What do you call a guy under 200 pounds? A woman. And I was 199 pounds, Rob, for like over a year. I could not break 200. So yeah, there was that running joke. And then from there, while I was training with the guys that were pretty much power and strength focused, all I gave a crap about was my looks. I wanted to be a bodybuilder the whole time. So after training with them, that gym shut down. My buddy, my old training partner, we then transferred to it was a Gold's Gym at the time. It's now called Montanari Brothers Powerhouse. It's in New Haven, Connecticut. Great family-owned bodybuilder gym, garage doors, all the equipment you need. They have a donkey calf raise machine, super legit. So that was my my intro to bodybuilding. So, at this gym, it's a bodybuilding gym. They have a posing room. They have all the pictures on the wall of their local competitors. So then I got into that. I did my first mock diet. I got super skinny. I didn't weigh my food. I looked horrible. But it taught me discipline, which was wonderful. Then I signed up for the Connecticut Classic, I believe it was called. Small local show, at a high school. I did bodybuilding. I'm being cocky here, but I would have took first if I did men's physique. I brought such a beach body to that show. I didn't have the mass, but I had nice abs. But I was proud. I'm like, no, I'm not putting on the shorts. No, stupid ego. Anyways, I came in 3rd out of 5. I did okay. I had no legs. I was small. And then I decided I'm going to do men's physique. And then training for men's physique, I'm following Mark Anthony and Sadiq. These guys are massive, massive individuals. They're not local show men's physique. So I got a little juicy, and I got big for my frame. And I brought a classic physique, local classic physique.
How much did you put on once you got on the juice?
I competed in bodybuilding at 170. I got on stage at 198 men's physique.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Probably even leaner than I did bodybuilding, a better.
In a pretty short period of time?
What was that?
Pretty short period of time?
It was over a year, over a year's period. I was on test and probe or probe, propeniate, whatever you call it. And then switched over to, are we allowed to talk about this on the podcast, bro? I'm just going crazy right now.
Yeah, man, it's an open format for sure. Whatever you're open to,
yeah. So then, switch over to Sustanon and Winstrol, and that was the stack. And then leading up to the physique show, I got conned into Tren, and that was just like insano, and that just blew me up so fast. That was like instantaneous 6-7 pounds.
wow.
So showed up, I was pretty thick. I was in the back of the stage the entire time. My posing was trash. The only thing I took serious was my like stack in my training. I didn't take posing serious. I didn't take anything serious. I bombed. I was a little spiteful for a while because I was well conditioned, but I brought.
How old were you at this point?
Probably like 25. I'm 40 now, but I was probably like 25, 27 at the time. Not a teenager, young adult maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bombed, did bad. And then from there, it was just like, okay, we'll leave this behind, continue training. And now fast forward to, I think 2017, 2018. So I was in my 30s, late 30s. My previous job, I worked at Vital Proteins, the Blue Tub, the collagen company, and I was doing influencer marketing. So I worked with like a bunch of athletes. I got invited to this fitness retreat. I show up, a little bit more backstory. I was a personal trainer. So I worked at LA Fitness. I worked at Equinox. My body was like my resume. So I was still in good shape. I show up at this retreat, and it wasn't the physique I was used to, or the physiques that I admired or put respect behind. It was, thinner runners, some what you would call overweight, ages from younger to even up to 50s. So I went into this event with like so much ego, like a jerk. Like, hey, if any of these guys were on the side of me at the beach, like they couldn't compete. Stupid mentality. We get to our first, and it was a weekend of activations or workouts, different variety. First one was like a mini triathlon, bike, run, swim. And it was a team one. So there was like a little bit of break. I didn't have to do the bike, but I had to do the swim and the run. I grew up, I had a pool. I did swim class. Like, I'm not a swimmer, but like, I know how to swim. One lap in the pool and I was smoked, like gasping, dead. I had to have my teammate go again before my next lap, because I believe it was 200 yards. It was 4 back and forths in the pool. The next 3 times for me, I'm holding on to the rope, doing this because I was going to drown. Then we get into the run. The worst cramp I ever experienced in my life. Started on the right side, ended on the left, was my entire abdomen, and I had to cough to exhale. So it was weird. It was like, oh, you're running, you're out of breath, you can't inhale. I couldn't exhale. That's how out of shape I was. I finished this, my glute cramps. Anyways, I make it through this retreat, and it was a complete epiphany. Like, how you look does not mean shit to your fitness level. It means nothing. And it's like such a poor way to judge. And then I had to leave my ego at home, realize that like, just because you bring this package does not represent athleticism or fitness. You're lacking in so many ways. At the time I was living in Chicago, it was February, got back to Chicago. I immediately started running in the cold, and I could only do like a mile, half mile walk, half mile. I hit my first 5K after a couple months, and I started crying. It was crazy. So Rob, that's my journey to becoming a runner. I got smoked at a fitness retreat, and I vowed to never be like the worst in the bunch again.
No, I can totally respect that, man. Do you still lift too, or is it pretty much most of the endurance work now?
No, I still lift. I live in Denver now, and I bodybuilding is my heart, bro. I go to Armbrust Pro Gym. It's where Phil is trained.
Yeah, I've trained there.
It's freaking great. So that's where I go now. I was just there this morning. I did a lot of body weight stuff. But yes, I still train. I like to hit the barbell. I'm not like serious about it. I'm just an old natty guy. But yeah, I love it. And I also love like the environment and the family aspect behind it. I go to this gym when I went to New Haven Powerhouse, or even I went to Quads in Chicago. Like I stay at the grungy, like hardcore gyms, but they're the best. You put your key on the key rack. No one steals it. You put your stuff in the cubby hole, not even a locker. Nobody touches it. You don't got to lock your door. I mean, they steal stuff from Equinox. That's a $200+ a month gym, and your stuff's getting stolen. So, I guess long-winded answer. Yeah, Rob, I still like to lift.
No, I love it, man. I love it. Totally out of curiosity, but when you were on the gear and then you got off of it, I'm assuming you got off of it once you started running, right?
I got off a while ago, like over a decade ago. After that show was a rude awakening. So I've never done trend before. I've never had post or any stereotypical signs of juicing. My skin was clearer on the juice than it was ever. But after that physique show and trend, I got ragey. I've never experienced, and I'm very peaceful. I'm very passive. The phone would ring at work, and I was a host at a restaurant. It would anger me.
Yeah.
My job to pick up the darn phone, make reservations. It was horrible. My libido tanked. It was brutal. And that was kind of my turning point where, like, you're not competing. You don't need this stuff. You have no aspirations of being huge. I just did it because I literally always had a six pack. I could eat whatever I want, and I always had a six pack, and I had round shoulders. But no, I got off of that probably after that show. Shortly after that show, dude, that was like the end of it for me. And it sucked a while because you have this image of yourself. You've seen yourself very lean on stage, like deep abs, and then you're natty and like your belly's not ripped. And there was a whole mental thing that I had to go through afterwards. But now I'm fairly confident and like comfortable in my own skin. I'm not even on TRT, which everybody my age is. So I'm really proud of that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I got off
people. I mean, I honestly don't know that much about it because I've always competed in the natural federations, but like there's so much that goes unsaid, but it's like super commonplace. Like most competitors are on something unless they're competing in the natural federations. But it's like, I mean, especially with the popularity of HRT, TRT now, like everybody's on something and nobody talks about any of the downside effects. And I mean, when you got off of it, how quickly did you downsize? Like how long did it take for you to lose that mass?
Bro, I did my show. It was around 4th of July. I came off after the show started PCT. I get back to the gym. I was living in Boston at the time. I get back to the gym. Literally, some dude just called me. I was like, bro, what the fuck happened? Like, you're off the sauce. It was so visible. And I blame a lot of it on the trend that like really pushes you beyond even what the sauce will do. But yeah, deflated. It took me a while to work my way back to like a nice natty frame. It was really the mental was the most brutal, bro. Like knowing what you looked like and like even your strength numbers. I'm not even a strength guy, but like it all tanked.
That's the hard part, man. The psychological component of it. Cause like I feel like that just when I'm in between like a cutting cycle and a building cycle, you know, like when I'm stronger when I'm in a building phase, but like when you don't have that definition, you don't see yourself in the mirror just totally diced. Like it's a weird psychological shift that you have to embrace because you can't stay that lean indefinitely. It's not healthy. I mean, everything tanks. But to like identify as that super shredded person and then not be able to do that the majority of the time, it's like it's a mental game for sure, man.
And especially when like that's what kind of like you're known for. Like when I lived in Boston, I went to Boston Athletic Club. It's all runners. It's no one is like bodybuilding there. I was like completely crazy looking in that gym. And then all of a sudden in 2 weeks, I'm a completely different person. Like it's so evident that he was unnatural.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, talk about the running, man. Like I've done a little bit of running. I used to run track before I got into lifting. Then I just, started the lifting. But then I've done like a few running endeavors. Like I like to do trail runs and stuff. I like the technical aspect of trail running. I did a marathon on a whim. I listened to a David Goggins podcast with Rogan, and I just have not run in 7 years, decided to sign up for a marathon and did a marathon untrained, unprepared, bought a pair of shoes online. The shoes came in. I went like on 2 little runs with them to break them in and then just did a marathon, which I don't recommend. Like I was hurting afterwards for sure.
Oh my goodness. I could only imagine. Kudos to you for finishing a marathon, not training and doing it on a whim. Running, original question, how did I get into running or how has it been?
So are you doing like like there's so many different formats of running, just like there's so many different formats of lifting. Are you doing like mostly road running and trail running? What kind of distance are you typically gravitating to?
I mix it up pretty much as like recreational runs. I am signed up for the San Diego half. That's the best I've ever completed is a half marathon. Um, roads, roads as of recently, but I've been trying to go to different parks. There's so many beautiful parks in Denver, and I go to Sloan's Lake. I run around the lake a couple times. There's Wash Park. There's this other park that's kind of like this big field near Armbrust I've ran. And then I'll also do like the trails. So there's a little park across the street from like my neighborhood where I'll go run around that pond. It's a lot of running around ponds, I guess, for me.
Nice.
Both. And then I also like hiking. It's really whatever. I don't take it too serious. I have a goal, get out there twice a week. My general runs between 3 and 5 miles. I'll have to ramp it up now because I have a half marathon. But that's generally my running, dude. I try to find a nice little park. I try to get out early in the morning. I like to be out there when it's still dark. It makes me feel like maybe Goggins-ish, maybe like tough because I don't stay up late, so I'm not a night owl. I'm more of like a morning darkness guy. But yeah, that's the running, dude. A little bit of road, a little bit of trail, twice a week, super casual.
Let's get technical with it, man. What kind of shoes you running?
All right, nice one. So I have Saucony trail runners. They're very cool, waterproof or Gore-Tex, whatever it is. And then my runners right now are New Balance 1080s. Super duper comfy. They're not like carbon plated. I have no carbon plated shoes. I don't think like I'm there or I need that. But New Balance 1080s. And then I got this new pair of Nikes that I made on Nike ID. The past 2 years I made like custom ones. So I have these Nikes that are sitting downstairs in a box, but, New Balance 1080s, brother.
Nice, nice. So I've got terrible feet. I've got really flat feet and I'm really overpronated. I think it's because when I was a kid running track, I'd run in cowboy boots, which is not a good footwear for running. I think that jacked up my skeletal structure in my feet. That's why I'm so overpronated now. So I've switched out all of my footwear to zero drop, wide toe box shoes. And like Ultra makes some. There's a bunch of different brands that are starting to gravitate towards the zero drop, wide toe box. But from a running standpoint, do you put much stock in that? Like, do you feel like there are certain people that would benefit more from that than others? Do you feel like that's kind of more the natural, foot pattern that we're supposed to gravitate to?
So I think it's like, it's all going to be based on the person. Like maybe for your feet, that might be the best. I have like wicked high arches. So I actually have like arch support in my running shoes. But I did take the Ultra path, bro. I have the zero drop Ultras wide toe box because I do have a wide toe box. And I ran in them for a good 2 years. I ran a half marathon in them. I loved them. Never gave me any pain. I got like occasional knee pain here and there when I run. It's because my hips are jacked up. But I don't want to scare you. I did get like this wicked, really, really bad case of plantar fasciitis. And for a moment, I was blaming it on the zero drop, saying I did a little bit of damage. But I won't necessarily say they're bad. I think I was just weak. My calves were weak. My calves are tight. My feet probably weren't strong enough. I don't think I was strong enough for Ultras. So it depends, I think, where people are at and like their body and how everything's moving. It may be great for some people. I just think the way my body mechanics were at the time, I was just compensating too many ways.
Yeah, because I want to get into running on a somewhat more regular basis. Like I've got this really nice lake right down the road from my building here, and I'll run. That's like a 4.5 mile loop, but it's like super technical. I love the technical runs. Like running on the road hurts my joints, and I don't know, I'm dodging cars and stuff. Whereas trail running, bunch of rocks, logs, rivers and stuff you're dodging, like that's my kind of style. But man, I've been playing with different types of footwear and I can't get that dialed in, but it's probably just because I'm not in shape for it. Like my shins need work, everything just needs work from a running standpoint.
So one of my buddies runs in, he's a large man, 300-pound ultra runner, was 500 pounds. He's a big boy. So he has big feet, wide feet. He runs, I believe this brand is called Run Speedland.
I've heard of those.
They have like the clickers for the laces. he swears by them. I mean, he even wears them in the gym. So that might be something for you. And they're specifically trail running shoes.
Yeah, I'll check those out. I got a buddy named Mike McKnight. He does like the ultras, like he's gearing up for the Cocodona 250, which is just crazy, man. Like I've done some 50-mile marches, and those are brutal. Like I'm totally wrecked after 50 miles. So running 250 miles, man, I can't even fathom that.
No, it's insane. It's where do you take yourself, like mentally, to do that?
Yeah, it's all amazing, man.
Maybe I don't want to know where these folks are going, but that's the question that comes to me. Like, how in the world do you have the mental fortitude to run for 250 miles? Like,
yeah, because like they're not sleeping. Like he'll crash for like 30 minutes at like random intervals. He's got like a team to make sure he doesn't fall asleep for longer. Like all this chaos, and I'm like, man, respect for sure. But you gotta take yourself mentally in a dark place to see through that.
I imagine so.
Yeah. Talk to me about Runway, man. So what was the origin story of that? Like you started running, gave up the competitive bodybuilding, and then decided to build a company around running. What was the catalyst there?
So catalyst for this one, I'll give you a little bit more backstory to tie everything together on this one. So around 2017, 2018, I was a personal trainer at Equinox in Chicago. There was this tall guy in the squat rack, shaky, no business being in there. So as a trainer, it's my job to help people. I walk up, I offer him some advice, pull him out of the rack, put him in something a little bit more suited for his fitness level at the time, schedule a couple free workouts with him to like show him my style. He blew me off, finally shows up. Finally, I get this guy to open up. What are you doing here? What are you trying to do? We call it the X Factor at Equinox. I say we as if I'm still there. And this gentleman was, hey, I have to go on these business meetings. I run a wellness brand and I don't represent wellness. I mean, I have to get fit. I said, all right, let's do this. So I sign him up, buys a 12-pack off of his cell phone on the third floor of the gym. I'm really proud of that. Any personal trainers out there, like I didn't go to the register. This wasn't a lay down sale. It wasn't a new member sale. Like pulled the guy off the floor and signed him up on his cell phone. I'm super proud of that. This gentleman turns out to be the founder of Vital Proteins. Mm-hmm. All right, sweet. I had the tub in my pantry because like my friend worked at a WeWorks and he was just handing it out. So I had like a warm intro. Oh yeah, I know that stuff. I got it in the pantry. I didn't know shit about collagen. But anyways, signed him up. We start working together and we just like grew our relationship. It was like really, really nice. He's a little older than me, but he's like wicked smart, NASA aerospace engineer, serial entrepreneur. And I would just like bounce ideas off of him. Like, oh, well, what do you think about this business idea? What do you think about that? And something really like special about this was he never laughed at my ideas.
Yeah.
So like growing up, you know, family, I love my family. I love all my friends, but sometimes they instill fear. Maybe I don't want to say they shit on your ideas, but like, what if, and it would mess me up a little bit. This guy never did that. He'd just say, oh, that sounds great. Have you thought about this? That sounds great. Da, da, da. Very supportive, believed in me. Anyways, we keep growing this relationship. He ends up being my hype man to me building up the courage to ask my current wife out on a date. So this guy is the reason why I got my current wife, or else I would have been too chicken shit to ask her out on a date. And then he also gives me opportunities to take her out on dates because at the time I was a struggling personal trainer. I had a lot of credit card debt. I was in a bad place in life. I was in a good place spiritually, but not financially or career wise. Mm-hmm. And he gave us opportunities. Hey, I'm having a 4th of July party. Hey, I'm having this little pool party at East Bank. Why don't you come? And that like helped me get my wife, start that, and then grow our relationship, like I was saying. Then after a year of training him, I signed up for a new lease at an apartment, and I lost 3 clients that week. One moved. One of them, I think I blew the deal on that one. I had her doing like Swiss ball V-ups, like 18 of them, and she like literally stops and looks at me. He's like, could you do this many of them? And I'm thinking in my head, like, I know I could do 15, but 18 is fucking brutal. But I didn't say it to her. So anyways, I lost 3 clients, and that was like my rent money. So I'm scrambling. And finally I just say, hey, I'd love to work for you. I'm a single male. I'm older. I have a degree in hospitality. I can cook and meal prep. Like I have a background in that from bodybuilding and men's physique, taught me a lot about controlling your environment. All my family's on the East Coast. Like I'm out here. I'm ready to serve. What do you think? And his answer was, I'll do you one better. I'll hire you at Vital Proteins, but you're going to train me. You're going to train all the employees. You're going to do digital marketing, and you're going to bring men and CrossFitters into the fold because we're heavily beautified right now. And I said, yeah, does it come with a salary? Sign me up. Boom. So that was that. I told my managers at Equinox. They knew that I had a great relationship with this guy. They're like, Kurt. And I'm like, yeah, he poached me. They're like, okay, bye. Clear your locker. They said, can we do anything? And I'm like, you literally can't give me a package to say no. Like, this is much more better for me. So that's how I got hired at Vital. At Vital, like I said, I did influencer marketing and events. So I worked the Olympia, Arnold. I did marathons, Ironmans, all that jazz. Stayed there for about 5 years. While I was there, I was lucky enough to be a part of a small team that started Vital Performance. It was like the performance leg of Vital Proteins because they have a killer product, but only women knew about it, and guys would steal it from their girlfriends. They'd be too embarrassed to take it in public. So we started Vital Performance. It was really great. So that was my first kind of opportunity to work on formulas and like put together a product. And we had a pre-recover sleep. Those were the actual names. So a protein powder, a pre-workout, and a sleep product. We didn't nail the flavors. The protein powders were the best ever, besides Runway, of course. Protein powders were phenomenal. Bomb. They tasted like Nesquik. Incredible protein powders. Incredible formulas, we didn't nail the taste. So those were learnings I brought into Runway. So that was experience there. Anyways, gaining traction, working with athletes. Vital gets acquired by Nestle Health and Science. They, focus. We're a lifestyle beauty brand. Sorry, guys. Budget gets cut, and I parted ways. Shortly after parting ways, I realized that I'm kind of unhireable as an employee, and I still have a lot to learn. So I called Kurt and I said, hey, I want to go back to being your apprentice. What are you working on? I said, all right, come on out and talk, and come to LA and let's talk. And the first question out of his mouth when I got there was, what's your product? What's your brand? I'm like, the fuck do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. You want to work with me again? It's going to be next level. You're going to come up with a brand. So I am extremely blessed, as you can tell. Like, I've pretty much been granted the opportunity to start a company by someone that has successfully exited $1 billion brand. So that was like the start of it. I just asked for help, and he presented this. So at the time, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know the brand. I didn't know the product. And in a magical like turn of events, at the same time, my old colleague from Vital Proteins, Cam, who is my co-founder at Runway, he parted ways at Nestle. And now we're all kind of talking, like, Kurt is messaging me, yo, did you hear Cam left? Cam is messaging, what are you working on? I'm asking Cam, where are you going? Anyways, Cam, let's fly out to LA and talk to Kurt. I think we got something cooking. We go out to LA, we talk to Kurt again, and I have these 3 paper formulas for a non-caffeinated pre-workout. I'm wicked proud of them. They had the kitchen sink in them, overlapping benefits. It was craziness. So I present it, and this guy Kurt is like, all right, great. Who's your consumer? And I'm like, Gym Bros, of course. He's like, no. Too saturated. Get focused. Find a niche. Now, Cam, he comes from a decade at Nike. Running specialty. That's his jam. He's a legit runner. He's like, hey guys, when's the last time you walked in a Fleet Feet or any sort of running specialty store? And we're like, never. He's like, it's all gels and goos. They're all race day products, basically, in the form of goos and gels, carbs and caffeine. That's the white space that we think we found, was all of the brands speaking to runners and endurance athletes. They offer a race day product. It's not the holistic approach that like other brands in like the gym space offer, where you have a pre-workout, you have a protein shake, you have a daily multivitamin, you have collagen for joint support. It wasn't like that. There's a few brands, but I don't think they were really executing. And that's how we fell into running. And it was like, let's go inch wide, mile deep. No one is speaking directly to runners. There's not a protein shake for runners. They don't even know what a pre-workout is. And that was kind of how we found the demographic and the white space for serving runners and endurance athletes. The pre-workout that I wrote out was my first formula. We just launched our product called Extra Mile. It is a non-caffeinated pre-workout. It is a much more refined version of my paper formulas. We do have a PhD retainer that helps me form these formulas to make sure that we don't have conflicting ingredients or arginine, citrulline, nitrosogene all doing the same exact mechanism of action. We also make sure not to do that and waste. So that's how we came up with like the brand. The name was like, what are we going to call it? What are we going to call it? And Kurt, like I mentioned, aerospace engineer, successfully has a jet. He's very into aerospace and aeronautics and that sort of. He's like, what about runway? Like the runway of a plane, extend the runway of your athletic lifestyle. We're like, holy smokes, that's it. However, you can't trademark runway. It's too common. So then we're like tinkering, turning the U's to V's, and it's runway. It just sounded like Nordic. It sounded crazy. And then one day me and Cam were like, we're sitting here drinking. We both might have been drinking Element at the same exact time. And we're like, bro, you have Element in your pantry. I have Element in my pantry. LMNT, Element. RNWI, runway. That was like a mind-blown moment. Boom, trademarked it. That's how we came up with the name. And then I'll give you just a little bit more backstory and then I'll shut up and you can carry on. We launched 2023, September 6th. 2022, we spent pretty much the whole year like coming up with the branding, the packaging, the formula, all that jazz. But what we did was we interviewed runners of all sorts through Google survey and just video chats like this. And we had a standard like list of questions. And one of the questions was, what is your biggest fear about running? And we were on the phone with an Olympian and her thing was, my biggest fear is not being able to run anymore. And I got fucking teary-eyed. I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is so important to like these athletes. This is like beyond their livelihood. This is their heart and soul. This is how they identify themselves. We have to make sure we keep runners running. We keep athletes in action. So our tagline is fuel your journey. And those interviews were not just with Olympians. They were with Couch to 5K. They were with ultra runners. It was a wide variety. It was just that this Olympian said it and it blew me out of my chair. And that's how we came up with our tagline and kind of like our ethos is we want to be the support system and the athlete is the hero. We're not the hero of our copy. We're not the hero of our ads. It's the athlete, the individual, the person on the story, on the journey. And I like to consider us as like the Mr. Miyagi, the Mickey from Rocky, you know, like the guide, the one that says, I told you so. That's how I want Runway to be and how I see us as being the guide, supporting everyone on their journey.
I love it, man. So you said you launched the brand in 2023. What month in 2023?
September 6th, 2023.
Nice. And I mean, supplements, man, like supplements is tough, you know, like it's super saturated. You got to go niche with supplementation. Like I don't have a supplement brand. I've got a food product that we make. So I'm in food manufacturing as well, but it's like, it's just crazy, man. There's so many competitors out there. When y'all started tapping into that niche demographic of runners specifically, did that take off and gain momentum pretty quickly, or what was the feedback initially there?
Yes and no. So in the field, our products resonate really well. So in the field, what I mean is I do a lot of run clubs, you know, the table setup, the hydration station. We were just at Austin Marathon, Miami Marathon. We do the expos. That's our bread and butter is showing up in person. There it resonates. Oh, what is it? It's collagen and electrolytes. Oh, I'm already taking both of them. You have it in the same product and there's no sugar. What? So it resonates there. Our protein powder is another kind of combination. So we have 25 grams vegan protein, 5 grams creatine. We have them both in the same product. And it's like, oh, I'm already taking both of them. You have it in the same thing. I could save money. I could save waste. I could save mess. So in the field, it resonates really well with runners. Digitally, meaning we're primarily sold on Amazon and our website. It's a lot of learning because we have two very expensive keywords that we have to bid on. And you know, someone types in collagen, we have Vital Proteins with 500,000 reviews at $40, or we have Runway at $59 and 100 reviews. Mm-hmm. Or they type in hydration and you have Liquid IV at $18, or you have Runway at 59 and nobody knows there's actually 10 grams of collagen, nearly double the electrolytes of liquid IV. You have to like look, you have to click further to find that out. So surface level, it's we're still figuring out like the keywords and how to really promote the products on Amazon because they're not straightforward products. But still month over month growth. We're figuring it out. We're A/B testing ads, keywords. We've got a pretty cool agency with us. So I'd say it fit. I think the runners and endurance athletes get it. It actually expanded so fast into endurance athletes. We had no plans of being anything beyond runners for at least 2 to 3 years. But our first swag was a squirt bottle, not my blender bottle, and cyclists are taking it.
Nice.
You know, so it just organically grew into endurance athletes. But what we really need to do, and we talk about it almost daily, is we cannot lose our soul. Like running is our soul. That was where we started. We can never go full high rocks or full CrossFit. We have to remember our roots.
Yeah, 100%, man. Did y'all start out going Amazon right out the gateway, or did y'all do direct to consumer and then transition to Amazon as well?
Right out of the gate, we did our website direct to consumer and we did Amazon. The thought process behind that was learnings from Vital Protein. So question I asked, Kurt, hey, why are we in Amazon? Like we make no money hardly. It's wicked expensive. And it's hard right now. We have no brand presence. And his answer was very simple. Dan, I'm throwing out public numbers, but this is from years ago. Anyways, we had 2 people. Oh, let's start over. We have 30 people running direct to consumer. We do maybe 12, 15 million a year. I got 2 people running Amazon doing 125 million a year. Mm-hmm. You get in Amazon now, you scale it because when it's hard, and that is the gold mine. Your website will never scale like Amazon. We're not in brick and mortar hardly. We're in a couple of retailers, which I'm really proud about, but that wasn't the original play either. So that was the advice. Get in Amazon now. It's going to suck, but there is nothing that will surpass that once you get that flywheel moving.
Are y'all going to stay in Amazon, or do you think you'll get enough exposure there and then transition more so to just keeping it direct?
No, we won't pull out of Amazon. We're still learning. We're still dumping into it. And that's the end goal is Amazon, to really grow Amazon. Let me take that end goal. I want to be in Whole Foods and all the natural grocers. We're going to be at Expo West next week. So stop by our booth. But yeah, Amazon digitally is like, that's really where we want to, succeed.
Yeah. And Amazon, I mean, I don't know that much about Amazon. We didn't go through Amazon, but they take everything, right? Like you don't get hardly any margins when you go through them, right?
Yeah, margins on our website are definitely better. We also have our own manufacturing. So like the product comes off the line, we package it in-house, we ship it out of our warehouse. It's not stored anywhere. Yes, we use a 3PL to ship. We don't own our trucks, but Amazon is way different. Like fulfilled by Amazon costs money. The agency costs money. The keywords and the ads you bid against cost money. Fulfillment fees cost money. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how much.
Y'all are doing production in-house too?
Yeah. So I'm part of this guy Kurt, again, like this fucking wonderful angel of a human being. He started what's called Starshot Ventures Launchpad, and we're kind of like a venture studio is what we call ourselves. He's invested in brands, like very well-known brands, but we're very focused on building brands from the ground up. So we have our own manufacturing called Titan Manufacturing. It's in Laverne, Tennessee. We have powder and capsule capabilities. Underneath Starshot, we have currently 5-6 brands. We have a mushroom brand. We have a reproductive health brand. We have a fiber gut health brand. We have Runway. We have a peanut butter company. And we're about to launch a canned electrolyte beverage at Expo West, which is going to take the country by storm. But these are all ran on those lines at our manufacturing plant. And then through this Starshot Ventures, we also have what we call Shared Resource Center. So we have in-house innovation. We have in-house creative. We have in-house recruiting. We have in-house people that manage the Amazon agency, people that manage our meta spend agency, people that manage those people. Like the infrastructure is still very new, but we have a pretty robust team for only being out for like less than 2 years. And the plan is, is to scale these brands and then take in other brands because we have the infrastructure already there. We have the experts in place. So yeah, again, very fortunate. I'm part of a wicked cool program. And yeah,
That's cool, man. That's cool being that vertically integrated. Like we do all our own production as well. And like so many people go just the outsourced co-pack route. And there's pros and cons to everything. But man, like when you build the product out of your own need, it's you get like it's your baby, you know. It's like you want to oversee that quality control, and you don't get that if you're just farming it out to somebody else.
No, and like you said, the quality control and just the visibility into the products. Like when things are going south on our line, like our protein powder, they say it volcanoes. So it comes in and then it plumes out because it's so fine and like, I don't know what the word would be, poofy. I don't know. The whole place is covered in cocoa. You know, if we went to a co-man, I'm willing to bet they'd whack us like quadruple the cleanup time. They may ship garbage product that isn't packaged properly. It's an added layer of quality, which then goes to the consumer, and they're not getting bullshit.
Yeah, 100%, man. So with you having done influencer outreach and, you know, sponsorships, affiliate marketing and whatnot with Vital, what are y'all doing with Runway from like an influencer marketing standpoint?
I pretty much took the whole program.
Yeah.
So at Vital, the main thing we did was just sample products. Maybe I shouldn't have stole it. I did it at Vital. I'm not stealing anything. Anyways, we send a lot of products and we request UGC, user generated content. So my job at Vital was to get the product in people's hands. Main priority. It wasn't, they don't even have to post. They don't need to convert. You need to get it in their hands and the magic will happen. That's how confident we were in that product. So I would reach out to fitness people. Hey, you know, great content. I got a great product. Would you like to try it? And then send them products. So we do very similar at Runway. I have an hourly employee. She manages our like DMs and our community. And that's pretty much her job, is finding cool people that would benefit from the product, send them the product. Hey, what do you think? Oh, I like it. Great. Would you like to exchange products for posts? I'm literally like giving the blueprint for everyone, but all brands know this anyways.
Yeah.
Great. Here, I'll send you a full-size product, whatever you want, every month. You give me a static post and 3 story slides. Nice. And that's like that. Right now we're still really young and I don't want to, but it's also, we're not in a place to dump a ton of money into ambassadors and like professional athletes. It's better used on digital spend right now, in my opinion. But we do have a registered dietitian on retainer, like on a monthly payment. And she's incredible. Her name's Megan Featherstone, and it's Featherstone Nutrition on Instagram. She has Fuel for the Soul podcast. She's wonderful. And we met her organically. My partner Cam was at New York or Chicago Marathon at a Hoka after party in line for a beer. I just started shooting the shit with her. Gave her the product. She liked it, organically mentioned us on her podcast. We didn't know what happened, but you see that spike in Shopify and like digital clicks. You're like, what the freak? You start backpedaling. What the hell? Oh my God. Megan is legit. So that was like, we have to sign her. We have to partner up with her and just like treat her very well and get integrated because she's so legit. And part of what makes her legit, and this is learnings from Vital. At Vital, it was a lot of TNA. I called it Johnny Six Pack, or, you know, the girl with the bikini all the time. It was a lot of vanity. Those were the influencers we went for. Megan is a mom, middle America. I think she lives in Ohio. She's a super legit runner. She completed all major marathons, but like, she's super relatable. She's a human. She's not like some unicorn with a magic body and like, no, she has kids. She has a family. She has a job. She also kicks ass out there running, has this podcast, and by the way, has like really good credentials to speak on this. So that's been huge for us in terms of like influencer ambassador marketing. And she's like the only one we really have signed right now. I'd like to find like 9 more of her, but I don't know if it will happen. I also don't want to force it. A lot of our partnerships happen very organically as well, meaning someone goes to Dallas Marathon, Dan and Cam sample them product, give them a bag, and then they post, and then they follow up with Runway and they say, hey, I want to be part of the team. So that's also very cool. Something that I learned from Vital is it's much, much better when you meet the person in person.
Yeah,
and it's
totally.
an organic relationship rather than a transaction. Hey, Rob, I'll give you $1,000 for a post a month. Sure. And then 2 posts later, Rob doesn't give a shit and he's dropping garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, organic 100% the way to go for sure, man. Have y'all had pretty good luck with like paid ads? Like, did that work pretty well right at the gates as well? Or has that been, because like for us, I mean, I just recently started doing paid ads like last August. Up to this point, I've been doing everything organic, and I've got a super solid agency, but like I did not build the business on paid ads. And like some companies, that's how they build the business.
Yeah. So paid ads, we're still figuring out. Our previous agency was a lot of like static images, benefits, ingredients, problem solution based. We are now heavily shifting to like UGC whitelisting. I think that's going to be a very big unlock for us. And then, like you said, the organic stuff. So 70% of our search traffic on Amazon is organic. It's people searching Runway. So I think that is key. Like being out in the field for us, being in person, being at these events, interacting with people, that is huge for us. I think that's a really good form of advertising. But like the paid ads, we're still figuring that out. We have learned that benefits are better than ingredients. People understand joint support better than they understand 10 grams of collagen. People understand hydration better than we have 6 essential minerals totaling over 1,400 milligrams of electrolytes. So that's something we did learn. And then another thing we did learn through the paid ads was like having a human aspect. So like one of the best performing ads we have is like literally just my hand holding a bag at Green Mountain Park. And then we just flipped the script, like we changed the text on it, and that worked really well for us. So humans, and then benefits over ingredients were 2 learnings so far. And then maybe we check back in like 6 months or a year, Rob, and I'll let you know how UGC ads go.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. You've got the veggie protein blend now. Are y'all gonna do like a whey based at any point too, or are you sticking with the veggie proteins?
The protein, that's my baby. So no, we're not going to go whey protein. And it's kind of like a personal thing and also like maybe like a brand ethos thing. So the protein powder that we have now, it's actually not like plant-based. It's vegan, but it's from fermented baker's yeast.
Interesting.
There's not really anybody doing it. There's like one brand that I know of. Yes, they inspired me. Yes, I follow them on Instagram. They're great. My formula is different. My supplier is different. But it's a complete protein, all 9 essential amino acids, more total BCAAs than whey, naturally occurring fiber. And the big thing for me, which really led me to this, was I just can't digest whey protein or plant-based proteins anymore. It gives me wicked bubble guts, protein farts, and it gives me acne. Like not like a little whitehead razor burn, like cystic acne, ingrown pimples. Bro, I'm 40 years old, man. I can't have acne. Like it, sorry. That's what led me to like finding new sources. I came across this protein source. I started taking it. I'm taking it. I found myself taking like a $95 a month protein powder for 6 months. Like that's how much 30 servings of this other brand costed at the time. And I was paying it religiously. And then one day I looked at my bank statement. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like you have a brand. So I go on Google and I'm like looking up suppliers. What can I do? How could I make this different? That's how we got to the protein source. I stand by it. I love it. I think it's like future protein, 98% less land, water, carbon impact than plant or animal based. Like it's the future. It's sustainable. Whey is the king. I can't say anything bad about whey other than it fucks my stomach up and gives me pimples. It's the king. That's fine. But I think like there's a new era coming in and we can do better. And that's
Yeah.
where our protein comes in. So we won't go Whey. We're not full hippie. I have collagen. We have animal products, but just really proud of this product. Upcycled, low FODMAP. We use organic cocoa. Plus we dump in 5 grams of creatine, which is like the most trending ingredient the past 4 years.
That organic cocoa is going up in price right now.
Oh, it's super pricey. And something cool about the organic cocoa that our PhD told us that I didn't even know, the amount of cocoa we use has the equivalent polyphenol content of 100 grams of raspberries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super high in polyphenols. Like cacao is the bomb. And like I went to Brazil to learn more about that industry because the pricing is just crazy. That's one of our primary ingredients. So like cacao is just through the roof right now, but it's got so many benefits.
Yeah, through the roof, a lot of benefits. And we don't even have enough like room on the packaging to talk about the polyphenols. You know, it's just like, it's just this added benefit that's in there. And then, yeah, creatine's pretty pricey right now too.
Yeah, everything's getting pricey. Do you think, would it be wise for someone to start a supplement business, or do you feel like it's too saturated, or as long as you've got a unique niche selling point, there's still opportunity in the land of supplements?
I think there's opportunity. Like it's a billion dollar industry and there's like millions of people taking it. Like there's plenty of money to go around and like consumers taking protein. My advice would be like, make sure you got money. It's not cheap. Like, like just to make a protein powder, I have to buy tens of hundreds of $1,000s worth of raw materials.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have 6-figure in ingredients. Now you need to run that on a manufacturing line. You need to package that. There's also legal testing, QA hold. We're also all informed sport. That's another $5,000 testing per batch to show that there's no banned substances. That was really important for us, that pro athletes could take our products safely.
Informed sport is better than informed choice.
Yes.
Informed choice is like randomized based off of the product, but informed sport, every single batch is tested.
Every batch tested for like over, I don't know how to throw out any wild numbers, but I'm fairly certain it's over 1,000 banned substances. And it's recognized globally. It's right next to NSF certified for sport. The reason why we chose Informed Sport is they do more testing. It's cheaper. And the main thing with NSF certified for sport is the MLB only recognizes NSF for sport. And we have no aspirations yet to be in the MLB. So it was like, who gives a shit? So we went with Informed Sport. And we're also Informed Protein, which is a new certification, which shows like your amino acid complex is legit and your protein source is legit. So we have both of them on our products.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
And complete protein. And the pre-workout is Informed Sport as well.
Very cool.
Back to the question though, if you want to start a supplement company, either be ready to bootstrap the daylights out of it and package it in your basement or your mom's house or somewhere and have a lot of money. And I would also suggest like maybe finding a partner if you don't have the experience that has CPG experience, consumer packaged goods experience. Because even just like my experience at Vital from what I'm learning 6-7 years later at Runway is completely different. Like the blueprint's not the same. It's ever evolving. Yeah, you need money. You also need contacts. Like for us, we call up a supplier, like we call our collagen supplier, we name drop Kurt. They're begging to do business with us because we have someone that has already succeeded and sold a unicorn company. That's a leg up. I don't want to advise against it. Get your ducks in a row and make sure you have money and make sure you have like a network, or else it's so freaking expensive. It's way too darn expensive, and you have to learn and you have to fail and fuck up and waste money sometimes.
100%, man. What is your end goal with it? Like, are you so attached to Runway that you want to see it through and it become a legacy brand, or are you wanting to sell it at some point when it hits a certain level that you've got in your mind? What's your personal goals and aspirations with it?
My personal goal is to sell to Nike.
Nice.
Reason why they don't have a supplement brand. They're getting into fitness. They have gym equipment, but the main reason they have the infrastructure of athletes. They have all the best athletes in the world of every sport already under their umbrella. if you can tap into that, that's like Anheuser-Busch distribution. You're in every fucking package store. I'm from the East Coast, so I say package store. You're in every liquor store. You're in every door. So Nike would be the end goal. Legacy brand, I do want to build a brand. I don't want to be some overnight TikTok brand or just like, you know, I want the brand to maintain a soul and have a personality. But I mean, 5 years, if Nike says, hey, this is cool, this would look great in our portfolio, yeah, let's talk. Yeah. So that's the end goal. I do want to be acquired. I'd love it to be Nike because of the infrastructure and their legacy. It's Nike. That's my dream.
Totally, man. What do you where do you find fulfillment in life now? Like you said, you got married, you have kids?
No kids.
No kids. So married, you got this business that you're running alongside your co-founder. Like, where do you find pleasure?
In peace and quiet. So yeah, I really like my time. I like family time. So example, like I had my ideal Sunday a couple Sundays ago. It snowed. I spent the majority of the time in the kitchen cooking. I was outside. I went for a hike. I probably worked out at the gym in the morning. And then I was with like Hannah, my wife, and our dog. The day we were indoors. Like that, I find peace in just like Dan time.
Little thing.
Because it's almost why I like running. So like running for me, I think you might have asked this before and I just went on some tangent, didn't even answer your question. But it's like meditation. It's peaceful time. It's when I could just like organize my thoughts and go through things without Slack going off, without email going off, without me scrolling through my darn feed. And quiet time, Rob. That's what I love.
No, I can totally respect that, man. I feel like I'm fighting fires all day long. They're all fires that I've made, so I can't ever be mad about it. And I love it, but it makes me definitely appreciate the quiet time for sure.
Yeah.
What's got the 2025? What's that looking like? What's the bottleneck in the business growth now with y'all being such a young, thriving business, you know, early on? What is going to be the next quantum leap for y'all?
So one big realization we had is last year, again, we ran the Vital playbook. We were at events handing out full-size bags, just making it rain product, which was lovely. We built a good base of like loyal fans, but now in 2025, when I look back, I gave out 2/3 of my revenue. Mm-hmm. You know, so finding ways to really just be more efficient on our sampling program. So in 2024, I would, if you said, hey, I got a run club, you want to show up? I'd say, F yeah, I'll be there. I'll hand out samples. I got the drink mix, the hydration station, all that jazz. Now I need emails. Sure, I could show up, but you got to share the Eventbrite. You got to share the Sweat Pals. You got to share the email list because I need data. And if I go to a run club, I'm not going to sample everyone. I'm not going to have a conversation with everyone. I could bring an iPad. I could ask for your email. I'm not going to get everyone's. But that's very important for us because what we did, we were able to calculate what an email is worth based on conversion rate and lifetime value. And now we have a $sign for every email. So if I could go to an event, we'll use Austin Marathon, $1,500 for a 10x10 booth. If I could sell $1,500 worth of Runway products, that now paid for the booth. Now it doesn't look like I have $100,000 in expo planned budget that I'm going to spend because I'm going to offset those costs by sales. We didn't do that last year. We weren't offsetting our costs with sales. We weren't offsetting. We collected emails, but we weren't diligent. So 2025 is really, really about, I think, efficiencies. Mm-hmm. Last year, we also went crazy with innovation. So for almost a year, we had one product, one flavor, lemon lime foundation. Last year, we launched cherry. We launched 2 flavors of protein, 2 flavors of extra mile. And I'm sitting on a carb product right now that I'm waiting for the right time to launch because I don't think we gave each product its moment. So again, 2025 is about just being more efficient about everything we do. Nice. Just because it's hard to like put a $sign on all the wonderful conversations we had and lifetime buyers when the books don't show it.
Yeah, no, totally, man. It's easy to like just spray and pray, so to speak, but you got to get calculated. You got to get into the analytics, into the statistics. And some people like that stuff. Some people hate it. But it's like the backbone of so much of the business decision making. So you've got to actually know the numbers.
Absolutely. Even just I know my COGS. I know the cost of goods sold. I know what each one of my products cost, like at retail and before. But just like every time I hand out a bag, I'm giving someone like X amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
The least I can do is get an email in return.
Yeah.
So just putting a dollar sign to things and not being frugal. Like I'm still very heavy handed and a man of the people. But again, it's a business and I have to, what the freak is the word? Justify what I'm doing. I need to ensure future revenue from what I'm doing today and yesterday.
100%, man. No, it's cool. I think I've got your co-founder coming on the podcast at some point as well. So it'd be cool to talk to him. What is his specialty versus yours with the business?
So Cam he's in the industry. He knows all the key moments of runners. He knows their schedule, their calendar. So right now we're prepping for our marathon season. We're signing up for our calendar. Come July, it's hydration season, obviously. The fall, we're wrapping up, getting into marathons. Come the cold, we're moving indoors, treadmill season, strength training. He knows like the ebbs and flows of the mindset and like what the runners are doing. So he's very embedded with that. And then me, I'm more of like, I like the formulas, if you can't tell. I like the products.
Mm-hmm.
That's really like where my passion is, just trying to like make something that isn't a milk protein isolate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, I think some of our differentiators. He really knows the industry and like the ebbs and flows. And I'm really passionate about like the product side of things.
Very cool. Well, I'm definitely excited to chat with him. It's been awesome talking with you, man. Where do people go to find out more about Runway, you, the brand, just dive deeper?
Yeah, so the brand's called Runway, but it's spelled RNWY. Our website is rnwy.life. That's the same as our Instagram page, rnwy.life. That's probably the best place to get a feel for us. We post a lot of our event recaps and posted some UGC educational content. Instagram, rnwy.life. And then me, I'm Dan the founder, Dan.the.founder on Instagram. Hit me up, DM me. I mean, Runway has like 6,000 followers. I have 2,000. Like, we're going to see your DM. We're not too big for our britches. Hit us up. You may even get a reply from me on Runway.
Awesome, man.
You can find us on Amazon. You can find us on the feed. And then I'll give a couple retail partner shout outs. We're also in Fleet Feet. You can find us in Fleet Feet's in Colorado. You can find us in a couple specialty running stores in Chicago, Fleet Feet Miami, Fleet Feet Nashville. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's been great.
Well, I will definitely link out and make it easy for people to find you. Just keep killing it, man. I think it's awesome that you're vertically integrated, that you got such a good pulse on the manufacturing process, the formulation. Like, I can talk business with you all day long, man. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. This was super easy conversation, Rob. Thank you.
You bet. See you, brother.